samadhiyami. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapama dattana vīramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata saddhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadang. Dhamma savana kālo ayam bhadanta. Dhamma savana kālo ayam bhadanta. Dhamma savana kālo ayam bhadanta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear brothers and sisters in Dham and dear children, I want you all to be seated comfortably and for a few moments to keep your upper body straight. We are going to cultivate our mind for a few minutes. Just keep your upper body straight and your palms together like this on your lap. And close your eyes. And bring your attention to this moment. Focus on your breath. And mindfully take a long breath in slowly. And breathe out slowly. Again, mindfully breathe in, breathe out, calming your mind, calming your body, releasing your bodily stress, releasing your mental stress. Mindfully breathe in, breathe out. You are not focusing on anything that you have been doing so far in the day. Just focus on the breath. rising and falling of the in breath and out breath. With our calm and peaceful mind, let's cultivate boundless compassion and loving kindness to all living beings, born and to be born, seen and unseen, near and far, including myself, my parents, children, husband and wife, relatives, neighbors, and all the unknown living beings. Bring them all into your heart and think to yourself, may all the living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all the living beings be free from harm and danger. May all the living beings be free from suffering, physical and mental suffering. May all the living beings have happy minds. May all the living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all the beings be free from harm and danger. May all the beings be free from suffering, physical and mental suffering. May all the beings have happy minds. May all the beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all the beings be free from harm and danger. May all the beings be free from suffering, physical and mental suffering. May all the beings have happy minds. Okay, now having that good thoughts, noble, wholesome thoughts in our mind and mindfulness, let's start our Dhamma discussion. And dear children, today Dhamma talk especially for you and also all the others who take part in the Dhamma discussion. So Bhante mentioned the purpose of the Dhamma discussion today in order to transfer the merits for the beloved parents uh, of Mrs. Lakmali Pereira and also uh, the other relatives who passed away of Mr. Prasanna Pereira and both Mrs. Lakmali Pereira. So today I wanted to discuss one of the very important sutta uh, in the Anguttara Nikaya, and also you may have seen that sutta in the book of protection, in the Piripota. Right? The name of the sutta is Dasa Dhamma Sutta. Okay, so what is the name of the sutta? Dasa Dhamma Sutta. And this sutta, one of my favorite sutta, one of my favorite discourse that I have been reading from my childhood. So when I came to the temple, I was like 12 years old. So thereupon, since then, I have read this sutta 1,000 times. This is very beautiful sutta. And I hope you all enjoy reading this sutta with me. So Dasa Dhamma means 10 things or 10 factors. So Buddha advised to monks, nuns, and his lay disciples, men and women, to practice the Sila Samadhi Panya. These are the three principles in Buddhist teaching. And that is the Sila Samadhi Panya are the main aspect of Noble Eightfold Path. So, our purpose as a Buddhist to practice the Dhamma, to purify our mind from defilements, purify our mind from unwholesome thoughts, to purify our mind from the deep-rooted causes of all the suffering that we experience in our life, individual suffering and the social suffering. So, since it is our purpose, Buddha has taught us a path, and that is Eight Noble Path. So, every time, often, a monk, nun, or a lay devotee should be mindful of their practice. Otherwise, we cannot cultivate our mind and to eliminate the deep-rooted causes of suffering. So, these 8 things are very important for every one of us to cultivate our path, cultivate our life, cultivate our spiritual development. Right? So now I will share my screen and you can see the sutta. So those who would like to read the sutta, you can read with me. Okay. Right. Can you see my screen? Anyone please respond me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Bante.
Okay. So the sutta is, so there are 2 names given. The one is Dasadhamma. Dasadhamma means 10 things or 10 factors or 10 principles. And another name for this sutta is the 10 regular reflection for a renunciate. Pabbajjita Abhinna Sutta. So normally, since Buddha always was surrounded by the monks, so mostly Dhamma was delivered to monks and nuns. But all this Dhamma is applicable for everyone, not only for monks, but also all the lay people, devotees too. Right? So now especially I want my children's, our children's to pay attention closely. Because you have so much of things to learn from this sutta. Okay? So Buddha teaches here, one who has gone from home to homeless, that means monks, to practice the Dhamma, should often reflect on these 10 things. Right? So not only monks, as I said, since you are a Buddhist or since you are a person, even not you identify yourself as a Buddhist, but maybe you are practicing the Dhamma in order to alleviate the cause of suffering, in order to find the peace in the mind. So everyone who practices the Dhamma should often reflect on these uh, 10 factors, not only for your spiritual well-being, but also for the well-being of your normal life and your social life as a social being. Okay, right. Now let's read the first factor and try to make a good discussion. Right? So Buddha said, one who has gone forth should often review this or should often reflect this. I have secured freedom from class. And this is not clear, right? So in this translation, it has been translated like this. I have become casteless. A person gone forth should often reflect on this. Okay, this is the first factor. So here casteless mean in the Buddha's time, there were four major castes in India. So this is about social stratification or social order. How this society has been organized time to time, it's very different. In Buddha's time, there was this caste system. Even today, this caste system is there in India, even in Sri Lanka, in everywhere, in every country in the world. Right? So in the caste system, Brahmins were the superiors on the top of the caste system. So then, secondly, it was rulers. And third, it was merchants. And fourth, the last, it was the workers, servants, those who have been working as, as slaves, uh, those who did all the hard works to fulfill the duties uh, of all the other caste. So therefore, people were discriminated. People were not equally treated in the society, right? Even today, you are living in the USA, you can see so much of discriminations in the society based on the color, black and white or brown color, based on the skin color, the body color, based on how much money you have and how much you don't have money, and also how much you are educated and whether you are educated or uneducated, and based on your profession, even maybe based on your school or the university. So people actually discriminate each other, mostly because of our identity. We discriminate the people, each other. For an example, since we all average persons, we have ego, conceit, right? Any person whose mind is obsessed by or overcome by conceit, they discriminate the others. They think I am superior, others are inferior. I am the greatest, or I am equal to others, or I am lower than others. That is how people think. So therefore, not only about one's own self, people thinks my culture is the greatest culture. My nationality is the greatest nationality. My religion is the greatest religion. Or they think my identity is equal with others. I'm same as the others. Or they think we are inferior than others, lower than others. So basically, the conceited mind is dominated by two ends. One is superiority complex and the inferiority complex. Or he compare with the others. Based on these identities, remember, the, the, the main identity that person have is this idea of self, idea of soul or I. And it goes with another two words, I, me, mine. Right? That is the most important identity of a person and also most dangerous identity. If you are so egocentric, if you are so conceited, then you discriminate others. You do so much of harmful things to others, right? So what this means, I have become casteless. It means if you are a Buddhist, if you follow the teaching of the Buddha, the most important thing is to give up your identities, all the identities. Even the purpose of Buddhist teaching is to understand the non-selfness. This notion of I am, me, mine is impermanent. This life is very impermanent, very fragile, tentative. Maybe we will be living in this world like few decades, 60 years, 70 years, or 80 years. If you compare it with uh, you know, the, the history of the universe, if you think about the time, so that 60 or 100 years is uncountable, very small time, right? So we are living in this world for a little time. If your heart is polluted by all these things, the conceit, wrong views, wrong identities, and if you discriminate the others based on color, based on caste, based on class, based on education, religion, or whatever identity, it is not good for you. You accumulate so much of unwholesome karma. I will explain later how you accumulate or uh, generate so much of bad karma because of this conceit. So, Buddha said, the nature of Buddhist monks, nuns, and all the Buddhist lay persons, the men and women, So these are the four groups, right? Monks, nuns, um, and men and women. These four groups are the disciples of the Buddha. Once you practice the Dhamma, you all becomes same. You give up all your identities. What kind of identities? Okay. There is sutta called Paharaga. So there with the Pahara, the householder, Buddha has a nice discussion. There Buddha teaches that explain the Paharada in this way. Paharada, there you can see the most biggest rivers in the India. Not he used India, but another word he used. So rivers like Ganges, Yamuna, Achiravati, Sarabu. So these are the longest and the biggest rivers in India. All those rivers begins from different places, not in the same place, different place. And the taste of the water of these rivers are not the same. Some rivers have fresh water, not polluted. Some are polluted, so you cannot drink. So some are very colorful, some are very dark, muddy water, not pure water, not fresh water. So that's the nature of the water in these rivers. And surprisingly, all these rivers bring their water to the sea. Once they reach the sea, you can only see one color, right? Not different colors. It is all blue color. And you can taste only one taste in the water in the sea. The water of the sea, the ocean, is salty. So that is the taste. So as Buddha said, you may be belong to different classes, different castes, different identities. For an example, most of you, your parents or grandparents came from Sri Lanka and now living in Florida or some other state in the United States. And most of the people in the United States have been coming from different countries, from Western countries, from Europe, from Asia, Middle East. It may be anywhere, from all the continents. They come like that, rivers begins from different places. People have come to USA from different places, right? So as Buddha said, you may be belong to different caste, different class, but once you become a Buddhist disciple, once you start following my teaching, you all are belong to the uh, the Buddha's dispensation. You all are sons and daughters of the Sakyaputra. So Sakyaputra means another name for Buddha. And you all have one taste. What is it? You all have this taste of Dhamma. And what you practice is loving kindness, compassion, and the wisdom, not hatred. not ignorance, not craving. You all should have the taste of wholesomeness, not the taste of unwholesomeness. Just like the water in the sea, only taste of salt, nothing else. Right? So therefore, if you think about in this way, your mind is purified by so much of unwholesome things. You just become a good, noble human being, right? And for that, I want to add the second factor also to discuss a little bit more about it. So Buddha says, the practitioner, those who practice the Dhamma, should often reflect that my life is dependent on others. So second fact is, my life is dependent on others. This is very important factor. So you all should remember this. Why? You are born to this world being dependent person. You are not just appeared in this world and suddenly start walking, running, eating. No, you are dependent on your parents. Every one of us were born to this world depending on others. Still, we are depending on others. Is that true or not? Some people may think, again, whose mind is uh, dominated by conceit, the arrogant minds, those who are not humble, they may think, oh no, I am not dependent on anyone. I do my things by myself. That's how they think. But if you closely observe, no, we are always dependent on each other. We are always depending on each other. Without the other, your survival is impossible. You are no more without the other. Just like without parents, children cannot survive. So now for you, your parents have given a beautiful life. They have dedicated all their life for the well-being of you, for your success. Right? Then they provide everything that you want. That means you are depending on them. Not only that, think about right now the clothes that you are wearing right now. You may be thinking that these clothes belong to me. I own this. That's why I wear this. I like it. I love it. It makes me comfortable and it's belong to me. Have you think about who made this t-shirt or this trouser, something that you wearing? Who made this? Do you know? No, you don't know. Perhaps you may know about the country it was made. Why? There is a label called made in China, made in Sri Lanka, made in Vietnam or Bangladesh, or it can be any country. Anything that you consume has a country name given, made in. But still you don't know where those material came from to produce that um, object or produce your t-shirt. Maybe it is producing in Sri Lanka, but the material may be coming from India or China or some other country. And also you may not know who grow that, the the cotton trees, where you uh, want, you know, uh, where you get these raw materials to make your t-shirt. You have no idea. You don't know whose labor in it, who cut your t-shirt, who are the tailors, who made it. and even who brought it to USA. But only thing that you know is I bought this from somewhere, maybe from Walmart. Or my parents brought it to me. They bought for me. What is we really know is that I am the one who benefiting from it. So until it comes to your hand, there are hundreds of people who have contributed to make that t-shirt that you like, that make you comfortable. Every single things in our life that we consume are depend on others, right? So therefore, we are depending on each other. Even monks are depending on the four requisites that offered by the lay people, devotees. That is the food, pindapata. Chivara mean robes that we are wearing now. And senasana. So the temple is maintained by the donations of the devotees, and also medicine. If you get sick, we are depending on the donations of the people, devotees, to take medications. So our life is also depending on the others. And in return, what you are receiving from monks, they help you to develop your spirituality. They teach you the Dhamma. They lead you to practice the good, the wholesome things, and meritorious things, right? And they help you to cultivate your heart with noble qualities such as loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy. hmm? And they help you to cultivate your wisdom. So for that you depend on monks, right? Everywhere our life is dependent on each other. So if my life is dependent on others, how can I discriminate anyone? How can I um, uh, behave badly towards others? How can I think about bad thing of the others? How can I cultivate hatred towards the others? Anger towards the others, right? So you should always think about that. Our life is always dependent on others. So just as we discussed before, we maybe belong to different classes, different castes, different ethnicities. Maybe you have a lot of money, or maybe you don't have money. Whatever it is, you should not be overcome by conceit, uh, ego. We are all just plain human beings. We should cultivate those noble qualities in our heart. So, if you do not contemplate on these factors, that I have become casteless as a practitioner, I do not discriminate anyone based on any identity. And also, if you do not reflect that my life is dependent on others, you cannot cultivate these noble qualities in your heart, right? And the third one, that is also very important. My behavior should be different from that of householders. Oh, this is for monks. So the monk's behavior should be different from householders' behaviors. And generally, your behavior should be different from the others who does unwholesome things, unskillful things, harmful things to themselves and the others. And when it is a behavior, it does not mean only your physical behavior. It talk about mental attitudes. The Pali word is akappa. Akappa means whatever the attitudes you have, whatever the thoughts you have. So our behavior is threefold. One is physical action, verbal action, and the mental action. So always you should reflect on your own thought, thinking whether my mental action or what I think is good or bad. Is it different from bad ones? Is my thought is something good? You have to reflect on it. And you should think about your own action, physical action. So that's why, while some others killing living beings, you are refraining from killing living beings as a Buddhist. Not only as a Buddhist, but also as a noble human being. While others are stealing from others, anything that they have earned, they have owned by hard working, you should refrain from stealing, not what is not given to you. And your behavior should be very much appropriate. You should not use your senses, your eye, your ears, your nose, your tongue, your body, whatever the senses, in a bad way, making others embarrassed, uh, doing lot of unethical things, physical misconducts. You should be refrain from those things. So that is how you think about yourself. That is how you cultivate good attitudes. While others doing, while others hate someone, I practice loving kindness and the compassion. So then my attitudes are different from those the others who does wrong things. My physical behavior, my bodily action is wholesome, and I am different from those who do bodily unwholesome actions. My speech is sweet. I'm always truthful. I do not say deliberate lies. I do not deliberately lie to deceive someone, to mislead someone, uh, to bring harmful consequences to others. That is how I am. I am different from those people who practice unwholesomeness. You should reflect on it then. So, whenever you reflect on your own mental action, if you see unwholesome things, you should understand I am also having these unwholesome things and I should purify my mind. If you see bad bodily action or bad verbal action, you should get rid of them. Because if you have those things, that means you are not different from others. Those who have unwholesome things, those who do unwholesome things. So, therefore, since our purpose is to be a good human being, a noble human being, and also to purify our mind from bad things, to develop our spirituality, to become uh, a noble person, and also to give up all the causes of suffering from our life, we should practice these things. So, therefore, always remember to reflect on these good qualities. So, then, so this one is linked with the others one also. You should always reflect on these two factors too. What are these? Can I fault myself or can I blame myself with regard to my virtue? So you are observing five precepts normally. And you are supposed to do good things bodily, verbally, and mentally. So therefore, you should always reflect on that. Do I find any something unethical which is not spiritual in me? You should think about yourself. Am I breaking the first precepts, second precepts, or third precepts, or the fourth precepts, or the fifth one? Or am I using harsh word, useless word, meaningless word, slanders? Why? It is very important for your development. If you find any fault with yourself, then you can change those unwholesome things. So always reflect on yourself. Try to find if there are any fault in you, then try to stop practicing them. Try to change them. You can hide anything from the world, outside world. Any bad thing you do, any bad things you think, you can hide from the others, but you cannot hide from yourself. And you are the one who really knows who you really are, right? So some people, you may have seen some people, they pretended to be good, but they're really bad, right? But still, they pretend to others to be good, but really bad. They cannot pretend themselves that they are good because they know they are bad, right? So you can't lie to your own heart. So think about yourself and reflect on yourself. Can I fault myself? Can I blame myself with regard to my virtue? Am I keeping my precepts? Am I cultivating these noble good qualities or not? Or am I cultivating these good skillful things that beneficial for me? For an example, if you are a student, you should be very skillful. You should learn well. You are not supposed to postpone things, procrastination. You have to work hard and study well, right? So some weaknesses are there in your mind. Sometimes maybe you want to postpone things, and that is a bad attitude. So you should see yourself and identify it as a fault in your mind and get rid of that. And the next one also, can my knowledgeable fellows in the holy life on close examination fault me with regard to my virtue? Okay, as I said before, we are not alone. We are living with some others, each others, right? As a family, even in the temple, we live as a group of monks, cultivating loving friendliness to each other, hmm, and also cultivating compassion to each other. And the others also can see our weakness. If you are not humble enough to accept others' advice, that is bad for you. The advice from your parents, advice from your teachers, advice from the monks in the temple, any elderly person with wisdom, and also very knowledgeable people about good and bad. They may be find some fault, some blameworthy qualities in you. So therefore, you have to always remember that, is there any blameworthy quality in me that my fellows or my parents, my teachers, or my the Monks in the temple blame on me, criticize me. So therefore, always reflect on that. You have to reflect on your own self to find any fault in you. Also, you have to be mindful. Are there anything in my life that others would blame on me because of that? That is also very important things. And another thing, very important thing that we have to think. I will grow different, separate from all that is dear and appealing to me. Okay, this life is impermanent, always changing. Hmm? You may be a child. One, one day you will become a young person, a young man or a woman. One day you will become a person like your mother, like your father, or one day you will become like your grandma or grandpa. That means our life is impermanent. We are growing. There are so much of things in this world that we love, that we attach so much, that we desire for so much, craving for so much, right? But all the dearest things in this world and most beloved one in this our life are supposed to be separated one day from our life because of this impermanent nature of our life. If you were born to this world, one day you will be gone from this world. So birth and death are unavoidable condition of our life. And you cannot always achieve what you want. Also, you cannot keep everything that you love forever with you because they are supposed to be separated from you, depart from you. And this is also a very important thing you should think about, right? Not only about this life, but also think about any tiny bit things that you love, you are craving for. It can be a toy, as I said, it can be a cloth, anything that you love, but they are very fragile. So you have to be separated from them. So always remember, everything is impermanent. Therefore, one day, whether I like or not, I may have to give up them. I may have to separate from them. I may have to depart from them. And this is another important thing that you have to reflect on very often, regularly. Okay? And the most important one, and maybe the last one that we can discuss today, is this. It's about karma or kamma. You all familiar with the word, right? So Buddha says, I am the owner of my action, my karma, heir to my action, born of my actions, related through my actions, and have my action as my arbitrator. Whatever I do, for good or for evil, to that will I fall heir. Or that means I am the owner of my action. So what is karma mean? Your choices, intentional choices, intentional decisions that you make are the karma. Buddha said, Chetanaham bhikkhave kammang adami. Monks, I say, karma means volitional deed. intentional deed. So whatever you do, bodily, verbally, or mentally, is your karma. That's why we call what you think you become. If you think about good, you become a good person. If you think bad, you become a bad person. Why? Whatever you think becomes the habit of your mind. If you keep thinking good things every day, it becomes your practice. Your mind get uh, uh, actually being habitated. It becomes uh, trained your mind to do the good, to think the good things, and say the good things. So, therefore, you will never be able to do any harmful things if you think good things. If your intention is good, you cannot do harmful things. You cannot say harmful things. If your intention is bad, then you cannot do any good things, say any good things. If intention is good, you do good. If intention is bad, you do bad. So therefore, Buddha said, what you think, you become. Hmm? Not anything else. Whatever you think, it becomes the quality of your life, quality of your mind. It becomes your action, physical and verbal. So therefore, karma is very important. Remember, every time, if you have any bad intention, any bad attitude, any bad choice, hmm, any bad decision, those are bad karmas. Then you will get bad results. If your intention is good, your attitudes are right attitudes. If your decisions are right decision, if your intentions are right intentions, that generate good karma. So how to know what is right, what is wrong? Anything based on greed, hatred, delusions produce bad karma. Anything you think, anything you do, anything you say based on craving, hatred, delusion, anger, jealousy, even we talk about discriminations. Discrimination is a bad karma. Without hate, you cannot discriminate anyone, right? So these are produce bad karmas. So what produce good karma? Generosity, loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. Hmm? These are the root causes that produce good karma. So you cannot actually do harmful things or discriminate anyone if you cultivate loving kindness and compassion. Right? So always remember, what you think you become. If you think good, you become good. If you think positively, you become a positive person. If you think negatively, you become negative person. So if you think you cannot do study well, that means there is something wrong with your karma. Karma means your action, mental action. So you are not thinking positively. So therefore, if you are not thinking positively, you are not putting much effort to study well. If you are not study well, then you cannot success in your life. That is how karma works. So always remember, my choices that I make should be good choices. Good should be good intentions. Should be good attitudes. Right? If so, then you will become a good one, noble person. That's why Buddha said, cultivate loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy. Huh? So you should be able to happy seeing the others being successful. If you are, dominated by conceit, if you are so egoistic, if you hate someone, you cannot appreciate the other's success. You cannot be happy seeing others' success, which is so generate bad karma, right? So therefore, you are the owner of your karma. It's not your parents. It's not someone else. You are the one who own your own karma. That's why it is said, you are the heir to your actions, your karma. No one is responsible for your karma. It is you. You inherit your karma, not someone else. And also not also that, but you are born of your own action, your own karma. That is why I said, what you think you become. You may be born to your parents, but parents cannot make who you really are. It is yourself. We all have parents, grandparents, and many other. Our life is being influenced by many factors in the society, but still, you are the one who should make right decisions, right choices, right intentions, right attitudes. Hmm? So, therefore, born of my action means you are born out of your own decisions, volitional deeds, your intentions, right? So, always be smart, be careful when you make decisions. Why? Your decision influence to you, influence to the others, and your decisions decide who you want to be, right? And related through my actions. Actually, the we have so much of relations, relatives, but the real relative of you is your own action. The real friend is your own karma, no one else. So therefore, that's why you should carefully uh, choose your decision, make your decisions and intentions. Why? It's like if you associate bad friends, your life is miserable. You become so bad. So as if your karma is bad, whatever you think is bad, you become bad. So therefore, karma is your friend. If you associate wholesome karma, good karma, thinking about good things, making right decision, not based on unwholesome things, but wholesome things, not based on negative things, but based on positive things. And that is your relative, that is your noble friends, most trustworthy relative, most trustworthy friend in your life is your own karma. So therefore, always be mindful about your own thoughts. Thoughts are your karmas, not only your physical action and bodily actions. Without thought, you cannot do anything or say anything. So thoughts come first. That's why Buddha said, Mano pubbangama dhamma mano setta manomaya. The mind is the forerunner, mind is the chief. Whatever you do with pure mind, it's good for you, good for other. If you do things with bad, unwholesome things, if you think bad things, it brings so much of suffering to you and the others. So always think karma is my best friend. Karma is my best relative. The way I think brings happiness to me or unhappiness to me. Right? Remember that. And also, you are born out of karma. And Buddha said, whatever I do for good or for evil, or whatever I do for good or bad, and I will fall heir. So I will be the heir of it. I will inherit all my good and bad, no one else. Because you make decisions. You do good or you do bad. So the others have influences. If you behave badly, if you think badly, if you say bad things, and your parents also get influenced by that. Bad reputations of having a bad child. And that is also very unwholesome things, giving so much of burdens to parents, teachers, and every others that you are living with. Right? But you are the one who inherit your own karma, good or bad. When you do good, everyone praise you. And also parents are happy. If you do bad, everyone not praising you, blame upon you. Right? So in this world, there are many things that we cannot avoid. Especially you know about Attaloka Dhamma, the 8 worldly things that we experience in our life. Those are labha, alabha, gaining and losing, ninda, prasansa, praising and uh, blaming, sukha dukkha, happiness and suffering. These are things. Sometimes people they praise you, they appreciate you, they respect you when you do good, right? And if you do bad, they blame upon you, scold you, and you get bad reputation. If you do good, work with positive attitudes, your life becomes so successful. You can find prosperity. If you have negative thoughts, mm, not energetic, always postpone things, uh, do not care much about others, then you cannot find success in your life, in education or whatever in your life. Right? So always remember, what I do, good or bad, becomes my inheritance. I am the heir of my own good and bad. And also, you have to think. One more thing we can discuss. What am I becoming as the day and night fly fast? You know, every day we are growing, we are getting old. Days and night are passing, they are flying. Only 12 hours daytime and 12 hours night. If you do not spend this time in a fruitful way to bring benefit for you, then that is not good, right? So therefore always remember, how am I spend my day and nights? How am I spend today? How I want to spend tomorrow? Or you can reflect, how did I spend the last week? Was it beneficial for me? Fruitful for me? Did I do good things? Did I do everything that I was supposed to do? So if you waste your time day and night for nothing for good, if you do things which are not good, that is very bad, right? Therefore, always remember to reflect on how you spend the day and nights. These are very important things. Okay. So always you should find some time for yourself, reflect on yourself. That is the next factor. Do I delight in an empty dwelling? Sometimes you want some privacy, to stay away from doing all the things and just focus on your mind and reflect on mind and see whether I have good qualities or bad qualities. Hmm? What is going on in my mind? What is I'm experiencing in this life? There are a lot of hardships and there are good and bad in our life. So you should find a solitude, isolation, reflect on everything, right? This is also very important thing. And most importantly, whenever someone asks from your practice as a human being and also as a Buddhist practitioner, how about your spiritual development? What have you gained so far by practicing the Dhamma? If you cannot control the anger, if you cannot control the jealousy, if you often get so uh, dominated your mind by hatred, if you say hateful things, if you do hateful things, if you do so mad things, hmm, if you are so craving for things, then your practice has not been successful. You are not developed. So whenever somebody comes to you and asks about your practice, you should be able to say, I was getting angry before, but with the practice, now I am not getting angry. I had so much of hate in my mind, ignorance in my mind, craving in my mind. Now I have reduced them and I am happy about it. So you should gain something like that at least by practicing the Dhamma. If possible, you should try to attain the Nibbana, enlightened, to be enlightened, to eradicate fully all the suffering. Right? So therefore, we as practitioners should always reflect on these 10 factors. Okay, these are the things that I have to share with you today in the Dhamma discussion, Dhamma talk. Again, I wanted to remember you this most important things. I am the owner of my own karma. I am the heir of my karma. I am born out of my karma. It is my best relative and my best friend. And what I do, good or bad, I am inherited. All my good and bad karmas. No one else. So think in that. Try to cultivate those good qualities. And one day you will become a wonderful person, a very beautiful human being uh, whose life is uh, dedicated for well-being of your own self and also the others. Okay, so now we can take a few minutes for any question if you have. Did you understand everything that I share with you? Anything that is not clear, you can ask. So Bante, your teacher Bante, Venerable Ananda asked me especially to talk to children, but also for parents and elders. These factors are not only for children. These 10 factors are the most important fact for the well-being of everyone's life, to develop your own life. So whenever you find peaceful time, please go through the sutra and reflect on yourself. It's good for your practice. Okay, again for children. Any question? Okay. If you don't have any question, then we can conclude our session. So today I hope with uh, this beautiful sutra, you may have gained a lot of wisdom about the Dhamma, right? So always remember to reflect on these qualities and apply it to your life and gain benefit from it. And one day you will become a beautiful person. Always remember to treat everyone equally. Hmm? The first factor, very important. Be humble. In the Metta Sutta, the Buddha teaches us to be mudu anatimani, be gentle and be humble. Always be humble enough to accept anything wrong that you have in your mind by seeing yourself, your faults. And whenever others show your faults, and humbly accept them, and thanks them for showing your weaknesses,
Understanding.
and then try to somehow avoid them and to cultivate the good. Okay, so that will be so beneficial for long time in your life. So saying that, let's conclude our session for today. Especially, we all should be thankful for our sponsors who are uh, giving us, who gave this opportunity for all of you, for our beloved children and the our devotees, this opportunity to learn the Dhamma, especially uh, Mrs. Lakmali and Mr. Prasanna Pereira. They both sponsoring and making this opportunity available for you to learn the Dhamma in order to transfer the merits for the most beloved one of Mrs. Lakmali's life, that is her mother and the father. So, uh, late Mrs. Josephine Senanayaka, who passed away 7 months ago, and also her beloved father, late Somasiri Senanayaka, who passed away 34 years ago, and also the beloved parents of Prasanna Pereira, and all the departed one of their uh, families. So let's wish that all the wholesome thoughts, meritorious thoughts that we accumulated today be received by those beautiful parents of Mr. Lakmali, Mrs. Lakmali Pereira and Mr. Prasanna Pereira, and also the departed ones from our lives, the beloved ones, anyone in our life, those who are expecting the merits from us. We receive these merits and be well and happy in their sansaric journey and ultimately find the bliss of Nibbana. So having that thoughts in our mind, let's say sadhu 3 times to transfer the meditation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's transfer the merits for the devas and also the departed ones reciting the Gatha. එත්තාවතාච අම්මේ සම්භතං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සම්වේ දේවා අනුමෝදන්තු සම්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා සම්වේ භූතා අනුමෝදන්තු සම්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා සම්වේ සත්තා අනුමෝදන්තු සම්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා ඉදම් මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම් මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම් මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ. By the power of the wholesome action, the good karma that we all together perform today, all the merits that we accumulated, be with us, be upon us, especially the sponsors family, and may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you always meet with success. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. අභිවාදන සීලිස නිච්ඡං උද්ධාපචායිනෝ චත්තාරෝ ධම්මා වඩ්ඩන්ති ආයුවන්නෝ සුඛං බලං ආයුරාරෝග්‍ය සම්පatti Sangha sampatti mevata ato nibbana sampatti iminate nesanjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you